China, a land of really old civilizations and awesome landscapes, has some amazing architecture. Its architectural heritage is a testament to its long and varied history, showcasing a blend of tradition, innovation, and cultural significance. It's as diverse as its history, with each region offering unique styles and structures that reflect local traditions and influences. From tall pagodas at Buddhist temples which reach towards the sky with their tiered roofs and intricate designs, to the detailed courtyard houses in villages where families have lived for generations, surrounded by walls that tell stories of the past, Chinese architecture shows the country's rich culture and clever building skills. These structures are not just buildings, they are a reflection of the Chinese way of life and philosophy. For thousands of years, Chinese architects have mixed beauty and usefulness, creating spaces that are both aesthetically pleasing and highly functional, making buildings that look stunning and work perfectly where they are. These structures harmonize with their natural surroundings, enhancing the beauty of the landscape. Get ready to be wowed by how clever and artistic Chinese architects were. Their creativity and innovation have left a lasting legacy that continues to inspire. They've changed the world's architecture forever, influencing modern designs and inspiring architects around the globe with their timeless principles and artistic vision. Chinese architecture isn't just a bunch of buildings. It shows how strong and special Chinese culture is. One of the coolest things is how it focuses on getting along with nature. Buildings often blend in with their surroundings, whether they're in pretty gardens or on top of mountains. Using natural stuff like wood, brick, and tile makes this connection to nature even stronger. Besides looking beautiful, Chinese architecture is all about being practical. Everything has a purpose, from slanted roofs that handle heavy snow to courtyards that let air flow through. Fengshui, the Chinese art of arranging spaces, is also super important. By thinking about energy flow, architects made comfy and lucky spaces for living, working, and praying. Picking building materials in Chinese architecture is about more than just what works. It's a thoughtful process that reflects the culture, environment, and available resources. Over centuries, Chinese builders got really good at using wood, mastering techniques that allowed them to create structures that were both beautiful and durable. They also became experts in using rammed earth, brick, and stone, each chosen for its unique properties. Each material has special qualities that make amazing buildings that last a long time. Wood offers flexibility and beauty, while stone and brick provide strength and permanence. The materials they used depended on where they were and what they could find nearby. This local sourcing was not just practical but also sustainable. Being flexible and resourceful like this is a big part of Chinese architecture. It allowed them to adapt to different environments and needs. It shows how clever the builders were, combining artistry with practicality to create structures that have stood the test of time. Wood is really special in Chinese culture. It means life, growth, and toughness. Using wood isn't just for holding buildings up, it's like art. Skilled carpenters figured out how to fit wood together without nails or screws. This clever system called dugong made buildings flexible and strong against earthquakes, so they could sway without falling down. Where there wasn't much wood or they needed strong defenses, they used rammed earth and brick. Rammed earth is packed down dirt, rocks, and sometimes lime, and it's surprisingly strong. The Hakka people in southeast China built amazing rammed earth houses called Tulou. Brick, which is easy to shape and doesn't burn, also became popular, especially for walls, foundations, and pagodas. To get why they used so much wood, you have to look at where Chinese civilization started. The Yellow River and Yangtze River valleys were great for farming and living. Wood from nearby forests was perfect for building. Unlike heavy stone buildings, wood buildings were flexible and could handle earthquakes and shifting ground. Chinese carpenters created a cool system with wood, fitting it together without nails or screws. This dugong method used special brackets, beams, and pillars to make a strong but flexible frame. Dugong spread the weight of the roof so buildings could sway a little in earthquakes and not fall down. It also let them get creative with designs. Something really cool about Chinese wood buildings was that you could take them apart and reuse the wood. Families could also add on to their homes easily. This meant houses could last for generations, changing as the family needed. One of the most noticeable things about Chinese buildings is the big overhanging roofs. These cool roofs held up by fancy brackets aren't just for looks, they're really useful. The wide eaves give lots of shade in the summer, keeping the inside cool. In the winter, the low sun can still reach under the eaves, warming the house naturally. Overhanging roofs also mean something special. They're like the wings of a bird, showing protection and the connection between the sky and earth. Bigger, fancier roofs meant the people living there were important. Palaces and temples had the biggest roofs, while regular homes had simpler ones. Making such big roofs was hard. Builders created a clever system called dugong, using special wooden blocks fitted together without nails. This held up the heavy tile roof and spread the weight, so they could make big, open rooms inside. The overhanging roofs show how clever and artistic the Chinese builders were. They weren't just pretty, they were useful and symbolic. Even today, architects copy these roofs in new buildings, like airports and offices. You can see their influence all over the world. Where there weren't many trees, they used other materials. Rammed earth was great in places where they needed strong walls for defense. It's made by packing down wet dirt, rocks, and sometimes lime. These thick walls kept buildings cool in summer and warm in winter. The Hakka Tulou are famous examples of rammed earth buildings. These round houses, sometimes home to hundreds of people from the same family, show how tough, clever, and close-knit the Hakka people are. The thick rammed earth walls, sometimes over a meter thick, protected them from enemies. They usually had only one entrance and very few windows, making them even safer. Inside a Tulou, you could see how Hakka society worked. Rooms were around a central courtyard, which was a place to meet, dry crops, and get light and air. Older family members got the best rooms on the upper floors with nice views. Sadly, these cool rammed earth buildings might not be around forever. Cities are growing, lifestyles are changing, and people like modern materials. But some people want to save these buildings. Architects are finding ways to use rammed earth in new ways, making it modern and eco-friendly. In many Chinese cities and villages, you'll find the Siheyuan, a traditional house with a courtyard. It's more than just a house, it shows how Chinese families live, their values, and how they balance personal needs with family togetherness. Siheyuan means four combined courtyard, which describes how it looks, buildings around a central courtyard. This design, with its focus on privacy, made families feel close and created a peaceful space in busy cities. The Siheyuan's design reflects Confucian values, which are important in Chinese society. The layout shows how families respect elders. The best rooms, facing south for sunlight, were for the grandparents, showing their importance. Siheyuan entrances face south, and the main buildings are on a north-south line. This wasn't just for looks, it's about the Chinese belief in the connection between heaven and earth. South meant warmth, light, and life, while north meant coolness, darkness, and ancestors. Building this way connected people with nature. The Siheyuan is also a great example of how to mix indoor and outdoor space. The courtyard, often with a garden, brought light, air, and nature into the home. The open design let air flow through in the summer. The overhanging roofs gave shade in summer, and let in sunlight in winter, keeping the house comfortable. To really get Chinese architecture, you need to know about Fengshui. It means wind water and is all about making buildings fit with nature for good health and luck. It's about using the energy called qi that's all around us. Think of a gentle breeze carrying good energy. That's key. Architects use this idea to make nice spaces by thinking about where buildings go, how rooms are arranged, and using things like water and gardens. Section 2. The North-South Axis, a reflection of cosmic order. The north-south direction in Chinese buildings isn't random. It connects with the idea that heaven and earth are linked. North, where the North Star is, represented the emperor and cosmic power. By facing south and building along a north-south line, the Chinese connected with this energy and kept heaven and earth in balance. Section 3. Hierarchy in architecture reinforcing social order. Chinese society values respect and family order, and you can see this in their buildings. In a Siheyuan, the size and decoration of a building showed who was important. Grandparents got the best buildings in the north, closest to the good qi. Their rooms were the biggest and fanciest. As you moved away from the center, the buildings got smaller, just like the family hierarchy. Section 4. The Forbidden City, a microcosm of cosmic order and hierarchy. The Forbidden City, the old imperial palace, is a perfect example of Fengshui and hierarchy. Everything from the north-south line to the courtyards and gates shows how important order and cosmic principles were. Imagine walking through the Meridian Gate into a perfectly planned world. Everything was designed to show the emperor's power. Even with all the modern skyscrapers, you can still see traditional designs in China. You might see a new office with a curved roof like an old temple, or a mall with an open area like a Siheyuan courtyard. This isn't just being old-fashioned, it's about connecting the past and present, giving modern buildings a Chinese feel. With so many tall buildings and not much green space, courtyards are becoming popular again. Architects are adding courtyard spaces to new apartments, giving people a peaceful place in the city. Imagine walking into a modern apartment and finding a beautiful courtyard with plants and water. That's what many new buildings are doing, inspired by the Siheyuan. Chinese architects today have to find a balance between old and new, Chinese and global styles. They're creating a new style that respects tradition but is also modern. You can see this in new museums, theaters, and libraries. They might have curved roofs, latticework, and courtyards, but they use new materials and building methods. It's a mix of old and new, showing how creative Chinese architecture is today. With cities growing so fast, being eco-friendly is important. Traditional Chinese architecture, which focused on nature using local materials and smart ways to heat and cool buildings, has a lot to teach us. Architects are using these ideas again, like courtyards for fresh air, green roofs, and materials like bamboo and rammed earth. This shows that they value both the environment and their architectural history. As we finish our look at Chinese architecture, we can see how important it is. This architectural style is not just a relic of the past, but a living, breathing testament to human ingenuity and cultural richness. From tall pagodas that reach for the sky to cozy courtyards that offer intimate spaces, Chinese architecture showcases the incredible creativity and skill of its builders. These structures are not just functional, they are works of art that have stood the test of time. It inspires architects all over the world, teaching them how to make beautiful and eco-friendly buildings. Modern architects often look to these ancient designs for inspiration, finding ways to incorporate sustainable practices and aesthetic principles into contemporary projects. The ideas behind Chinese architecture, working with nature, understanding materials, using light and space well, and showing cultural values, are still important today. These principles guide the creation of spaces that are not only visually stunning, but also harmonious with their surroundings. As cities grow and we face environmental problems, these ideas can help us make buildings and cities that are beautiful, functional, and connected to nature. The integration of green rooftops and sustainable materials in modern buildings is a testament to the enduring influence of Chinese architectural wisdom. Chinese architecture will keep changing, but its focus on balance and harmony will always be inspiring. Even as new technologies and materials emerge, the core values of balance, harmony, and respect for nature will continue to shape the future of architecture. It's not just about buildings, it's about human creativity, culture, and finding our place in the world. The intricate carvings and bustling markets are a reminder that architecture is deeply intertwined with the daily lives and traditions of people. When we see the Forbidden City or a Seheyuan, we remember that architecture is more than just walls and roofs, it's about our values, dreams, and connection to the past. These iconic structures serve as a bridge between generations, preserving the essence of a culture while inspiring future innovations.